2 innings. Felt like it could have definitely gone out for a third, which is a really great sign. These rehab games are all about literally entering healthy and leaving healthy, which was accomplished today. Felt overall it was good. Got out of the stretch in the second and a little off timing, a little out of pace, but other than that, I was really happy with everything.
You get out of it what you wanted?
Of course, yeah. 2 innings, feel strong through the whole 2. I'll look at the data and stuff, but stuff felt overall really good. Would just get ready for my next outing.
Do you have a goal of working on certain pitches today?
Yeah, but it's whole kind of like my whole spring training rehab type of situation. I'm working on the changeup, trying to determine in the zone, out of the zone type of thing. So I threw quite a few changeups again today. Overall, they were mostly really good. So happy with that. Another rehab. Yeah, probably gonna go 3 innings. So I don't know. I'll have to talk to Joe and all the training staff and the team, but you assume 5 or 6 days.
How much do you make of first inning 3 strikeouts and then second inning you give up a couple hits? You talk about just healthy-wise is the most important thing, but
0.
as far as
less, I don't take much from the first inning or much from the second. What I took from it was I was really timed up in the windup. My pitches were pretty crisp. When I got in the stretch, I felt a little bit quick. When I looked at the iPad after, I realized I wasn't really kind of gathering and doing my thing that I've been working on. So, I take more from, the fact that I got in the stretch and realized, kind of what that felt like. And, these are never result-based. I think people like to be result-based driven, but these are all about health-based.
Did you argue to come out for the third? Or just
No. It was planned. It's pre-planned 2 innings. So I was just saying that it's nice to feel that I accomplished the goal. It's nice to feel like I could go back out for more innings. You never want to barely make it through. Kind of the second inning, which physically I felt strong. I felt really good.
What were the emotions just kind of being in a regular game after so long?
Not much, not many. I think there was a lot of emotion for me in spring, getting back for that first game. Although it doesn't necessarily count. These necessarily don't count. I don't want to give up runs for the AAA, for the guys, because then if they lose, then that's bad for the record. But it's that first game getting back out there in like a really competitive space in spring training was probably the more emotional of the outings. I feel like now it's really about kind of building up and getting back to Daikin with the Astros and being able to produce for the team.
as far as the feeling of your pitches, what did you feel? Did you like how they felt coming off and just the positioning, location, all of that?
Super happy with the fastball, actually, especially in the first inning out of the windup. It's been a big emphasis for me, the four seam. Really felt good about that, location-wise, finish-wise, the whole thing. Like I said, when I got in the stretch, I could tell I was yanking the curveball a little bit, yanking the changeup. That's just big telltale. Yanking the heater, that's telltale of just getting too quick. I was just too quick. I was probably trying to do too much with guys on base, which is really the first time I've pitched in a game atmosphere with like men on base and men in scoring position. So that's a first for me in a long time. So I was getting quick on myself. But I like the slider a lot out of the stretch. For the stretch purposes, slider can be difficult just because it's a big timing pitch. So I think as the inning went on, I settled into the stretch a little bit better and got those last two kind of pop-ups.
And you mentioned being too quick. Is that like a product of excitement, or is that something
Just
that you're
tempo
just not
based.
used to it?
Yeah, it's just probably just like me, just kind of like rushing through, not kind of being in the moment, focusing on, executing that pitch, just kind of like letting time roll by. My body's getting quick on me. So just being a little bit more deliberate out of the stretch. And like I said, it's the first time I've been in a stretch in that type of atmosphere, men in scoring position, things like that, in that 29 months. So, I realized I was getting a little quick. They came and talked to me, said, "Hey, you're moving a little fast. You're not synced up. Everything's yank. Let's sync back in." And then those last two batters were much better.
If I'm correct, you said you were working on an arm angle change, no?
Not so much an arm angle change per se, an arm swing change, which hasn't really made the angle too much different. I'm sure there's a little bit of variability on how my arm's getting to release based on the arm swing. So that's kind of what the focus was this offseason for me.
That's what I was gonna say. Are you kind of feeling like it's kind of getting there? Is that?
Yeah, I feel completely normal with it. Like very, very on tempo. Very. It's just normal now. It's not something that I'm like actively thinking about. When you make a big change like that, It may not look like a ton on video, but it's a big change. So it would be like changing the way you walk or you run or you breathe. So at first it's very difficult. You find yourself falling in that old pattern very often, but after 4, 5, 6 months out at the ranch, I really kind of started feeling confident in that movement, and then I've stayed confident in it.
You mentioned another.
29 months. Have you been counting the days, or have other people been counting the days for you?
I'm sure everyone's counting the days. That was just like a general statement. I think
Yeah.
someone had said that after my last game. So yeah, it's been a long time.
You mentioned another rehab start is kind of your next move.
Absolutely,
What
yeah.
are some other goals in your recovery? Like, what are you hoping to see from your body the next couple days?
Big thing is getting to that bullpen and being able to use the bullpen as like a stepping stone, being able to work on things. So most likely my bullpen will be pretty focused out of the stretch. It's hard to recreate the game atmosphere though. So, but that'll be a focus. I'm sure that's what Josh and those guys will kind of tell me. But it's getting to that bullpen and then you making it productive and then feeling good for the next outing. I mean, health is everything, and especially in my circumstance. So as long as I'm continuing to build healthy and get to 3 innings and then 4 innings and so on, that's really the goal of this whole rehab setting.
I know Espada was here today. Did he say anything to you after the start?
No, I literally came right in here to you guys. So I haven't seen those guys yet, but they've shown me such great support, especially Joe. I know Jeremiah Randall, our head athletic trainer, who was here with me today. Josh Miller came today. Bill Murphy. I saw Dana before the game. So a lot of our guys in Houston came to watch me. I appreciate that. They've shown me a lot of support throughout this process. I think they understand how hard it's been for me and how much I've put in to just people would say, oh, we threw 2 innings in Sugar Land, but the amount of work that's simply gone into just this one day is astronomical. So that's why I'm super happy with just being healthy, feeling good, making pitches. Even in the second inning when I things started speeding up on me, some runs came across, kind of regrouped, made some pitches when I needed to. So that's starting. You have a rough second. Hopefully in the future you have a nice 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and you finish the game with a nice outing, nice line, and that's what we're building towards.
You talk about building up to 3 innings, 4 innings. In a way, can you maybe down the line see, finally making a start again in the majors?
I hope so. I mean, I wouldn't be out here.
I mean,
if
as
I
in the
wasn't.
sense of like, can you kind of get a sense of maybe how soon that may be?
I mean, we got to get to 4 or 5 innings, and it's really not an innings thing. It's a pitch thing. It's a pitch count thing. It's not so much the completing of the innings. It's the ups and the downs of going to the dugout, sitting down for those 8, 9, 10, 15, 20 minutes. Sometimes seems maybe a little bit monotonous, but like getting heated up and going out there and pitching and going to sit and coming back out again and getting your body going again and continuing to do that is actually can be a challenging thing in a starter role. So that's really the focus of the rehab. That's why rehabs can take often longer than like a reliever rehab, just because we can't cut time. Can't go more than every 5 or 6 days, and have to build up to that capacity.